How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Redriveraviation. I hope all of you are having a fantastic day today. And today we have a video on the GeminiJets 1-400 scale airport service support vehicle set. I really hope each and every one of you are excited for today's video. And without any further delay, let's go ahead and get started. So today we're going to be taking a look here at the airport service support vehicles, or the GSE, that GeminiJets provides here in 1-400 scale. By far the most popular ground service equipment in this scale. And I thought it'd be cool to make a video like this for different. So let me know if all of you are interested in these airport accessories videos. Definitely can do a video on the jet bridges and other such accessories that are produced by third parties, and also of course the main manufacturers like GeminiJets here. So also you may notice a different setup today. Today we're at the Albuquerque Sunport International Airport. Thought it'd be cool to change it up, and I didn't have lighting on either side of this anyway, so I thought might as well change up the setup since we're here and I gotta set this up for Albuquerque anyways. So might as well get this in the position for its best setup. So let's just go ahead and get started here with the airport service support vehicles by GeminiJets. So of course the box is pretty similar to what they typically do with their model aircraft. You got GeminiJets up here. Here's the title of what we have. 1-400 scale, made by collectors. You got the GeminiJets logo here. Now the main difference with this box is, of course, it's a cutaway. So as you can see all the ground service equipment in there, and of course you also have the place where it would hang up on a shelf. So that's also very cool too. And here's the bottom. Here's all the various pieces that we have in here. We have a fuel truck, a catering truck, cargo lifter, passenger and crew buses, luggage and cargo loader, air stairs, tow bar, tow tugs, pallet carrier, and dollies, and also a generator, which is really cool. So I guess I've always had this misconception. This piece must be the generator, because I've always used this piece as a cargo piece, loading it onto the, always loading onto cargo aircraft. But I guess technically speaking, it's a generator. It's a little big, obviously, so that's why I think all of us mistaken end up using it as a baggage cart, but nevertheless it's still cool to know that that's officially a generator in GeminiJets terms. So I guess we have always been wondering why we don't have a GPU. Well, by definition that's the GPU, even though it's pretty big, but by definition it's a ground power unit, so, or generator, whatever you want to call it. So that's cool to learn today. So I guess we all learn from these videos. And the item number, interestingly enough, is GJ Airport ARPT SEA for set, and then alpha. This is the first and I guess the only iteration they'll ever have. Back of the box has that classic picture that you'll find the stock photo when you're looking to buy it somewhere. And of course this is a 2023 iteration, which is cool that they continue to update the boxes despite this item being 20 years old or so, because they had an initial set, which I could also do a video on. I have some of those, so let me know if you'd like to see that. So they do have an initial set, but this was refreshed, I believe, around the time that the original terminal came out in the 2000s. So anyways, though, very excited for this. You know, obviously a nice classic throwback, and I think we all have the same issue when it comes to jet bridges and ground service equipment, that we just want more and more and more of it, and it's really cool to get it when we do. In this particular case, I got it to meet a qualifying minimum for discount percentage on Black Friday this previous year. So excited to have this, and I hope all of you are excited to take a look. So let's just go ahead and pop it open right here. So as we get the plastic open, you're gonna see that we have all of the ground service equipment items in here. So we'll go ahead and take a look at that after I show you this last piece. And that's that they also include, with ground service equipment, they do include stickers, which is really cool. Also have the item number up there at the top, which is pretty interesting. But as you can see, you have all the airlines. Now I haven't looked at this in a long time. Should be a refreshed version. I'm seeing mainly international carriers, although the new Southwest logo's here, so that's nice. So glad to see them refresh that. I'm looking to see, here's the American Airlines ones down here. So I believe the newest terminal building comes with a big sheet somewhere up here. I don't think it's on my shelf up here. Yes, it actually is. Okay, cool. This will be really cool to look at. So this came with my original terminal piece. Oops, sorry about that, guys. Good morning, everybody. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, so with the original big concourse for the 2000s, this is the sheet that I got. And this, of course, since you have so many gates, you want as many choices as possible. So this is what I got. Now, this also possibly could have came with the 7-gate set terminal that I got previously too. I'm not completely sure. However, as you can tell, it was pretty tore up. But as you can see, this is certainly at least aged some. You got the old Southwest logo, the Delta Colors and Motion logos even on here, but they didn't update this for quite a while, so that could be a possibility as well. You got the United Airlines Tulip stickers. US Airways is here. So I'm thinking this is probably the late 2000s, early 2010s when this came out. Not really any helpful information on the back, but what I was going to say is with the bigger ones, concourse, you do get bigger sticker sheets, which is really cool, and quite a few logos for all the airlines. I think Southwest got like 8, American had 8, they're all gone, so it was definitely like 8 or so. And you can see some new airlines also appear, some that are gone now, but you'd have the new ones like Breeze, JetBlue, or sorry, Breeze, Avelo, those. But you can see here where we have some Air Berlins and Pacific Airlines, you know, some different ones like that. So I just thought that was cool. But yeah, I definitely need to use my stickers a little bit more because I have several of them, so I definitely need to put those to work sometimes. So glad that I was able to find that. But here is the small one that they give you with the GSE, which is cool that they even give it to you on GSE. You would think that you'd only get it with passenger sets and jet bridges. But nevertheless, here we go with the ground service equipment itself. This is what we came for, so let's go ahead and take a look. A very thin plastic cradle, as you would expect for such an item like this. So let's go ahead and see. I haven't got GSE in probably 2 or 3 years, so this will be refreshed, and I'll get to see if there's any changes to what we have in reference to the design. So let's go ahead and take a look. We'll start up here in the top right where we have our tug, the connector piece. So this looks pretty good. The tires are certainly very painted on this particular instance. Sorry, it's kind of hard to see. But as you can see, that one looks pretty good. Then from there, we have the cargo lifter. This piece also has been a classic over time, so good to have this one. The fantasy ones are really cool, but it's obviously very expensive. So that one's pretty good considering that you get it with all the other pieces as well. Here's the belt loader. Now, my biggest assessment with these belt loaders is if they can stay in place, because some of them I have can't. So let's see if this one can stay in place when I prop it. And it sure does. So I can prop it as high as I want or as low as I want. As you can see, it doesn't move. Some of them just fall flat. So that's really exciting that that one is working as it should. Next up, we have the air stairs. In my opinion, you can't ever have too many of these. There's some really cool ones floating out there, whether they're 3D printed or just like the standard one like that. So that's awesome to see. Next in line, we have the fuel truck. This has always been a classic in my opinion. I think they always have done a really good job on it. So glad to see that that one is looking great too. And then we have our first of 2 tugs. This one is the small one. Now, historically, the actual tug piece hasn't ever fit really well into the small one for me. That's why you always see me use the big ones. In this particular case, same song, second verse. As you can see, I can't really even get it in there. If I propped it and pried it and all that, I'm sure I could. But I think the bigger one looks a little bit, you know, more fluid anyways. And that very well can be just because I've done it for so long. Speaking to the big one, here it is. Mine have always been really hit or miss. Sometimes they fit perfectly, sometimes they barely fit, other times they just don't fit, period. Let's see what we have for this one in the front and the back. Okay, so it looks pretty loose there in the front, which is all right. I have other ones, so that's good news there. And the back appears to same song, second verse. It fits, but it just falls out, so you got to get it in the correct position. So it's tough to find them that are perfect. I think it's just a small, you know, you can't really do too much about it. But if you just put them on the ground, you can see where it stands there a little bit. So just got to be careful with it. But some, you know, you can make it work. It's just tough. I do like when they are able to stick in there easily and just move it around. That makes it really convenient. But anyway, that's not the purpose of that. Just to make it work is the intent. Next up, we have the catering truck. These are also really cool. My biggest problem here, and I've been kind of tough on mine over the years, so I can understand why it's happened. But as you can see here, the lever piece, making that not break on you is important. But as you can see, this one's pretty fluid, so hopefully it can stay that way. I do wish they would sell replacement pieces for that. That would be awesome so they didn't break. But again, don't be hard on your ground service equipment and it won't happen. So, really good lineup so far. Let's go ahead and take a look at the rest of the items, including one of my favorite pieces, hands down, is this baggage. So as you can see here, it has the connector piece here in the front, which is really cool. So I'll show you how I like to line mine up. And then the generator, which I would have always called a cargo piece, which it's cool to know that this is now a generator. It's like 3 times too big, but you know what? It's okay. It certainly does the job. And you know, it's hard to see anyway in 400, so I might have to start using that as a generator. I've never thought about it like that. So that's pretty cool to know now that that's officially a generator. Here is the tug piece. I've sometimes used that on regional jets to be a little bit more realistic, which I think is kind of a cool concept. And then lastly, we have the final piece for the baggage. It's the open piece. So hopefully at some point, I would love to see GeminiJets produce a piece like this, but that's hollow so you can see through it, because that's how quite a few of them are. I also hope to get enough to where I don't have to use this piece, because typically you see more of these anyway. And there are quite a few really good 3D printed ones, so I hope to get some of those in the future. And I believe some of them are hollow, and also there's some really cool ones. Some are Southwest Airlines, some are other airlines, so that's pretty cool too. We have the big bus. You've seen me use this before for charters and other such places, so that's really cool. And then what I like to call the crew bus is the small one. I think GeminiJets would probably agree with that. And here's the crew bus right here, so that's really cool. So what we're going to do from here is I'm actually going to bring in a couple of airplanes, and we're going to demonstrate how to attach this. So let's go ahead and take a look at how that would look. To get the full effect, I'll bring in a heavy so that we can do this to its fullest potential. But let me bring in, I have a couple around here. I'm trying to decide which one would be the coolest. Actually, let's go with this one. Let me get it out from under the table here. Yeah, this works. This is good. We'll take a look at this on, well, it needs to be a GeminiJets model, shouldn't it? Yikes, my bad, guys. I didn't even think about that aspect of this. I was just trying to pick the coolest one. So, coming to the rescue, we'll have the 2017 release American 777-200. So this will be a good aircraft to demonstrate what we're doing here. In fact, let me see if I can get the camera on the nicely lit side so we can see kind of what we're doing here in its fullest effect. And most of the items actually go on this side anyway, so this will actually work out really well. Alright, so I'm going to start here by putting the pushback tug here on the front. So definitely you want the big one for a heavy airplane. So let's see if we can put it there on the front. There we go. Next up, I'm going to take the air steer and put it over here on the left. And it's also sometimes tough to get them to extend without falling. I've had that problem in the past too. Luckily, this one is good to go. We'll get our buses here. So I'll go ahead and line those up. And I'll put one kind of back here in the foreground, if you will. Then we'll put the catering truck in the back. I think it'll fit back there pretty well. So that looks perfect. And then we have the fuel truck, which will go right here. Awesome. And then from there, we'll just put this one off to the side too. Just kind of hanging out back here, waiting for new life. Now, the cargo lifter piece, I've always had a tough time getting it to stay tall. I just usually leave it down. So let's go ahead and park that up here at the front. And then I guess technically this isn't a cargo piece, which I think everybody always thought it was. So I guess for the sake of using it how it's supposed to be used, I will put it right here as a generator. So GeminiJets, where are you supposed to load this cargo onto here, or what's supposed to be going on there? I'm kind of now really interested. I think the baggage, the belt should be able to go high enough to reach the 777 here. The only problem is it's going to be nearly blocked by the catering truck. So for the sake of making it look pretty, I'm going to put it here next to the catering truck. If I can get it there. That's cool. That'll work. And lastly, we have the cargo pieces. So let's go ahead and line those up here as well. All right, one little, and give me two little. Also, never park ground service equipment that close. It's unrealistic, period. I'm just doing it for the sake of the demonstration to get it all on one side, outside of the air steer, which is likely not going to be on that side very often. And ladies and gentlemen, that is how your ground service equipment looks on GeminiJets models. So very pleased with this. Awesome to get more ground service equipment as always. So I really hope all of you enjoyed this video. I personally think it looks really good. Try to get as much light on it as I can. I'm kind of blocking it there with the camera a little bit. But it's awesome to see how great this looks, and certainly very glad to have more ground service equipment, and I recommend getting some if you haven't already. I think it looks really good, and again, this usually comes in at about $30 or so. I got this particular offering for $22 if you want to break it down that way. Either you can say I got three free models that purchase on Black Friday, or $22 on this, or $30, however you want to look at that. However, I'm certainly very happy about getting some more GSE. It's a very important asset for model airports, as you can tell, and I'm certainly very glad to have this in the collection. So let's just go ahead and do a little pass through before we conclude the video, and let's see if we can do it out of macro mode, preferably. So I'm going to take a little tour around here to get it out of macro. So as you can see, we have the air steer along with the bus. This is the passenger bus. Then you got the crew bus and the tug. Then you got the tow bar and the main tug, generator, the cargo loader, and then the back kind of loaded up back here. We got the catering truck, the belt loader, the three luggage pieces, and also a fuel truck. So certainly a nice assortment. I've also thought about coloring these up a little bit. I think everybody's thought about doing that at some point or another just to give them some flavor, but the nice standard navy white pattern does look really nice here. So Again, I know this video is pretty simple. I know most of you know how all this works, but I certainly learned about the generator today, so thought it'd be cool to unbox this for different. And I hope all of you enjoyed what we were trying to do here as well. So thank you all so much for watching today's video. I really hope all of you enjoyed it. Ground search equipment's awesome. Get it if you can. While expensive, it's a helpful asset, and I think all of us can take away some major notes here from today's video. So, with all that being said, everybody, that'll do for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. I want to thank each and every one of you for watching. My name's Redriveraviation. Take it easy, everybody. Stay safe, trust the process. Do you love and love you do. My name's Redriveraviation.